researcher and journalist that covers the far right. My work has helped educate millions on far-right misinformation and narratives and helped de-radicalize thousands who were already leaning farther right. My work actually contributed to Tucker Carlson getting fired from Fox News and triggered Elon Musk into deposing me in Chicago. Part of why I'm running is our leaders are failing us, and I believe that things can be better. There is not only an illiteracy in the moment that we're in new media among our leaders, but also in understanding the threat that Trump and the MAGA movement poses. All the people I used to cover now run our country. And I don't only have a track record of fighting them, I have a track record of winning. I also think that our leaders are failing us in their values. We have become a party, the Democratic Party has become a party that is reliant on corporate PAC donations, billionaires, and Republican-funded PACs like AIPAC. My campaign does not take a cent from any of those groups, but also our basic values are under attack to satisfy those powers. I believe that housing, groceries, and healthcare are a human right, and they make more economic sense than padding the profits for pharmaceutical companies and billionaires. I also believe that we need to take a stand against ICE, a stand against anti-free speech actions by this administration, and to stand with the people in the working class and unions over people like Elon Musk. Finally, I think our leaders have been failing us in their approach. It's all words and no action. I don't think that positive change is something you should dangle like a carrot before Election Day, and I don't think that if you don't have the House or Senate, you should just throw up your hands and give up. So for my part in our campaign, we use our campaign office in Rogers Park as a mutual aid hub. Anyone can come and get with me.
That's time.
That's time?
Yes.
Look forward to talking more.
We're looking at, because I'll go over to
Yeah, I was looking for
yours.
like a time.
I promise. Okay, sounds good. Hello, assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you all so much for being here today on Saturday. My name is Bushra Amiwala and I serve on the Board of Education for Skokie School District 73.5. My parents came to the United States from Karachi, Pakistan with literally a $20 bill and built their life brick by brick in Illinois 9. My dad was a small business owner owning a clothing store on the west side of Chicago, and my mom's a teacher. And for me, my passion for service came from the spirit of gratitude. I was so grateful for my life growing up here in Skokie and now serving on the Board of Education 7 years later, having an enriched career at Google in tech for 5 years and a decade in nonprofit. The three sectors have three things in common: how to manage budget, problems, and people. And I'm excited to be stepping up to advocate for universal health care, expanding and supporting immigration with a clear path to citizenship, and making it so that we're fighting for the 99% of this country, which includes all of us, not just the upper 1%. Thank you.
My name is Phil Andrew, and I am running for the 9th Congressional District. I'm a former FBI agent, and I was a hostage negotiator with the FBI. I got my start in working in, I don't think it's mine. I got my start in working in public safety many years ago when I was involved in a mass attack, the first mass shooting in America in a school that happened in Winnetka, Illinois. A woman named Lori Dan went into a second grade classroom and opened fire on six second graders, killing one and severely injuring 5 others. In the course of her escape, she crashed her car at my childhood home. A hostage situation ensued, and I was able to negotiate my parents out, but I was shot in the chest in an attempt to disarm her. While I was recovering in the hospital, I learned a lot about the problem America has with gun violence and mental health. And I've been in that space ever since. I've really dedicated my life to trying to bring safety, peace, and conflict resolution to communities and families. And that work's taken me all over the world. I've spent time in the Middle East, working with many of the countries that have struggled with terrorism and international conflict. I've worked in North Africa. I've worked in the city of Chicago on the streets there, helping build comprehensive violence prevention programs that are effective.
And that's time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Biss. I have the honor of serving as mayor of Evanston. Thank you so much for organizing this forum. I think it's a really exciting opportunity for us to begin what's going to be a long conversation, not only throughout this campaign, but thereafter as we work together to restore sanity to this country. I've been involved in government for the better part of 15 years. I started my life as a mathematics professor at the University of Chicago, got involved in anti-war activism, and eventually ran for office. I spent 8 years in the Illinois legislature and have now been mayor of Evanston for almost 4.5 years. And I'm running for Congress because we're living in an extraordinary emergency, a nightmarish situation. Our neighbors being taken from the street by armed, masked people. Our fundamental rights under attack. The fundamental values that made this country what it is under attack. And so we need people in Congress to fill the extraordinary shoes of Jan Schakowsky, who are prepared to be in the fight with backbone and strength and courage and are not going to bend or break, and people who have demonstrated the ability to get things done in government. People who have been able to win hard fights, like the fights I've won in Evanston around affordable housing and climate, the fights that I won in the state capitol around things like retirement security, civil rights, privacy. We are in a situation that demands someone who understands both how to make government work and how to partner with activists and movements in the community, because we're only going to get out of this situation if we all rise up in one voice across the country. I'm excited to partner in that effort.
And that's kind of nervous.
Hello, my name is Justin Ford, and I like to tell people I'm not a politician, I'm a public health professional. I'm getting involved in politics because I believe that Democrats need to start focusing on working class issues again. Unions built this country. Unions gave us things like Social Security and workers' comp, and we need to go back to supporting the working families of this country. About 1 out of every 70, actually 69, a little over 69% of people in a recent poll said they did not believe in the American dream anymore. We are failing. And if we keep sending the same sort of people to Washington, we're going to keep having the same sort of problems. We need, not just to win the 9th district, we need to win back Congress. I am standing on a pro-union, pro-working class, a 4-day work week, fixing Social Security, and as an environmental professional, an actual climate change bill. I believe that these sorts of ideas, these sorts of policies are what's going to win us the House again, and the Senate, and the presidency, and get everything else done. When you're looking at everyone today, I would like you to think about who here can not just win the 9th district, but who here would help us win in Iowa's 1st, Wisconsin's 3rd, and Michigan's 7th. All districts we lost by 5 percentage points. Democrats need a better message. Democrats need better messengers. And the Illinois 9th needs a fighter that's going to fight for you and help us win back the House.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having us here today. My name is Jill Enrique, and I am running for Congress. I am a mother of 3 beautiful children, and I am also a labor organizer. I'm also a former school board member for District 219. One of the things that I learned as a District 219 board member is that we do like to talk about our diversity a lot, and that's really important. But when we just talk about our diversity and we don't strive for justice for those who make up that diversity, that's exploitation. And that's something that I think we've seen far too much of. As an organizer, I think it's really important that we have more organizers in Congress and in all of our elected positions, because as an organizer, I understand how important solidarity is. Solidarity across rank and file members of unions, solidarity across races, solidarity across districts, solidarity across everywhere. We're not going to get through this if it's not together. And I also come with the working knowledge of the history of what has happened to working folks. And the history that what's happening right now isn't new. Melanated folks all over the country have been dealing with this forever. It's on a grander scale, it's a little more unhinged right now, but folks have been grabbed out of their homes, out of their cars, for as long as this country has existed. And that's time has been renewed.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sam Poland. I grew up here in the 9th District, so I was born and raised here in the 9th District. My parents ran a business here in Skokie for over 30 years. I'm a graduate of New Trier High School, and I studied political science in college before joining the United States Army, where I served for 9 years. 5 of those years I served as Army Special Operations, and I've deployed 3 times. Following the military, I moved to Washington, D.C., where I served as a senior policy advisor and analyst for the Joint Chiefs and NORAD and U.S. Northern Command. I left federal service earlier this year because I no longer believed what I was doing was in the best interest of the American people. I think we've lost our way as a country, we've lost our way politically, and I think our Congress has certainly lost its way. We're losing the very ideas of what it means to be an American and the very ideas of the things that make our country special. So if I'm elected, my priorities are very, very simple. First, I'm going to support the rule of law and defend the Constitution of the United States. Second, I believe that civil liberties need to be protected and restored. And third, I don't believe the American dream is dead, but I do believe it needs help, and I believe it needs to be more equitable for everyone from every background. So my promise to you, if I'm elected, you'll have someone who's dedicated to principled service, someone who will always fight and do the right things because they're right, and someone who, no matter what happens, will always defend the people who cannot defend themselves.
I'm a former public school teacher, former white-collar federal prosecutor, and most recently a senior leader at Microsoft. I'm not running for this seat because it's the next job for me up the political ladder. I'm running because I think, like many of us, I'm very angry about what's happening in our country. We know the stakes. We know what this administration does every day to our democracy, to our economy, and of course, most importantly, to our communities. We need the Democratic Party to fight for us, and we are at the weakest point in my memory. Our approval ratings are somehow dramatically below the president's. We've been losing voters for a decade, and we keep losing elections. And in the face of that, I see a Democratic Party that is asleep. We've become very good at talking about how angry we are, but I see Democrats all over the country, and yes, here in this district, who are still running on the same platform that's been used for 10 years, who are promising achievements they're going to get done in the Congress or ways that they're going to hold the administration accountable, which we know are not possible under this outlaw administration. What we can do is show the country a vision that will get them to choose us so we can go get back power. The way that we're really going to defend our communities and make people safe, yes, of course, resistance is the first absolutely essential step, but we have to change who's giving the orders. And to do that, we need to have a vision that is going to inspire new people to join the party. So I don't have time, the 90 seconds, but my vision is a new American century, which I say is about promoting innovation and growth so we can expand the care, protection, and opportunity that we give everyone.
And that's time.
Appreciate it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Howard Rosenblum, and you can see that I am deaf and using sign language. So if you like what I'm saying, you can go ahead and clap like this with your hands in the air like that. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you can just go ahead and boo me because I'm not going to hear you anymore. I am running because I am a lawyer with 33 years of experience, and I have been fighting for the civil rights of the most marginalized people with disabilities, and I want to fight for human rights as well. Right now, our community is under threat. We are having unconstitutional, not due process events happening within our country, and I have worked on systemic change. I have gone after big names, including Netflix. I've forced them to put the captioning on all of their streaming videos. I have also gone after Harvard and MIT, making sure that their website was accessible as well. And I'm most proud of the fact that we were able to sue President Trump. And this is his sign, in case you were wondering how they started the name of Trump. We sued President Trump, and we won. We forced them to provide sign language interpreters for the deaf community during the COVID press conferences. And that was the first ever lawsuit against the sitting presidents for civil rights. And I want to bring that fight here with all of us to Congress to make sure that we all have the freedom to say whatever we'd like to say. That is time.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? Yes. My name is Mike Simmons and I serve as a state senator for the far north side of Chicago. And in 2021, I became the first Ethiopian American and the first LGBTQ person to ever serve in the Illinois Senate, where in 4 years I've passed 50 bills into law, including the new child tax credit, including championing legislation that translates government websites and services into 24 languages that reflect our communities, and so much more. And before that, I worked at the Obama Foundation, where I worked with the My Brother's Keeper program to remove opportunity gaps for young men of color and help to make those programs more relevant to the diverse multi-ethnic communities that we have across this area. I'm running for Congress because I know how to get things done. In the Illinois Senate, while I may not look like your typical member of Congress, I've been able to pass 50 bills into law, but I've also really shaken it up. I'm not somebody that's afraid to push back against people in power, such as the Speaker of the House or the President of the Illinois Senate, if they're wrong. And right now, too many Democrats have sat on their hands and have failed our communities. So I'm running for Congress to be a part of a new generation. My dad was an immigrant from Ethiopia, and the first person born on American soil, and proud to reflect proudly on all immigrants and refugee communities. And if you send me to Congress, I promise I will shake things up and we will get things done. Thank you.